shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, we have the one founder, Oliver T. here, and Moon God Crypto, Matt from Prisma. We are going to talk about the Prisma One NFTs again. How's it going, guys?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm here. Back from vacation,
Yep. Doing pretty good over here as well.
Oliver, it is hot.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
yeah, honestly,
Florida weather here. It's 97 right now in Chicago. It's ridiculous.
It was hot, and honestly, it's cooled down recently to like 97 or something like that. But yeah, it was hot for a while there. Probably while you were there was at the hottest.
Yeah, it was terrible. 97 every day with 100% humidity, and you're like sweating up a storm. You want to go in the pool, and the pool's 93. And you're like, great. That is very refreshing. And then you're like, oh, no, let me go in the ocean. 88. Great.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Beard is looking pretty smooth, though.
Yeah, I want to get rid of the beard so bad. It's starting to get annoying. Like right here, this spot just won't stay down. No matter what I do. So I keep wanting to get rid of it, but then a good scammer friend of ours, Brian Legend, called out the Greek's beard and said he was going to shove it up my, where. So I said, I ain't going to give him the satisfaction. I ain't shaving this beard till Brian Legend has nothing to do with anything I'm in anymore. So it stays as
Amen, brother.
Just for me.
Yep.
Well, it looks great.
Yeah, I know. You got a great beard too.
Thanks. Mine's getting a little rough on the sides over here. I got to work on it a little bit, but can't complain. The wife likes it. Asked her the other day, I was like, yeah, how do you feel about me shaving this? She's like, how do you feel about divorce? And I was like, all right, well, that's the answer right there.
I need to find me one of those. I can't even get a girl to look at me with this thing. They're just like, nope, not touching him.
Oh.
It was a process, in fairness.
That's true.
She was not into beards until, I actually ended up shaving it at one point in time, and it was starting to kind of grow back in, and then I just never shaved it again. And that's, in that time frame of like shaved to never shaving again, that's when
funny.
She was like,
I shave, and then everybody who told me to shave is like, oh, you look weird. I'm like, well, you're the one who told me to shave. Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah, there's that fine line that you got to kind of, like ride the lightning, so to speak. And it's like, it's hard to do.
It really, really sucks. Oliver T, what is new since the last time we talked about this? In a nutshell.
So these are the same NFTs that we spoke to you about the last time, the Prisma One NFTs. Last time we spoke to you, there was 612 of them total. We have lowered that amount to 500. So that means we are going to burn 112 of them to the null, and only 500 of them will be left in existence that will get rewards. Also, we are going to be putting more money into the bot to begin with. Those two changes are what give us the new numbers that we have in the white paper, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But the numbers are better because of that, because we're putting more money into the bot to begin with, and because we have 112 less NFTs that will be getting rewards. So they're even more rare now and even more lucrative. And we just wanted to spread the word about that and just continue spreading the word about compounding interest. And because it seems that nobody else is doing this, which is strange. I mean, I guess there's plenty of people like in the finance world that know about compound interest, but in crypto, nobody seems to be using it. So,
yeah. And I was looking at the paper and I'm the white paper again, and I'm like, oh, the numbers are better, but there's less NFTs. So I'm glad you said that you're throwing more into the bot to start.
Yeah,
that made sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So we kind of made this overhaul decision after kind of looking at a couple of the numbers, and we wanted to kind of, if possible, if everything kind of goes the way in the direction that we wanted to kind of reduce the amount of time, for people to kind of start seeing some like really, really big, impactful returns. And that was kind of, the reason why we made that change is that the way that we kind of looked at most other NFT projects that are out there, even something that does say something similar to us here, they usually don't, put everything into the bot or the money making portion of it, whatever you want to call it. They usually take a huge chunk of it for themselves. And that usually ends up kind of like offsetting these longer periods. So we kind of made that decision that, hey, we're going to cut back on, the amount of NFTs that we're going to have as like a whole, which means higher payouts just as like a baseline. And then we're also going to just put everything into it rather than taking a cut for, the teams ourselves and setting us back even further as well, too. So like it should end up, hopefully, if, if BNB kind of swings back the other direction while we're still kind of like loading up here and everything like that, should end up being just about anywhere from like the $85,000 to about $100,000 range is what we should end up with, somewhere in there, depending on like what BNB decides it wants to stay at. But yeah, that's kind of that, that idea and that decision behind it is we didn't want to, one, have to start off by like, making back up what the team is taking, and that definitely is one of those things where
save a ton of time with
exactly
the compounding effect. The more you start out with, the more you like the baseline is always important in the compounding effect.
Exactly.
And what it the one change that Matt was talking about is originally when we were going to sell 612 of these, we were going to raise about 140,000, and we were going to put half of that in the bot, and the other half we were going to split between One Token and Prisma to help each project with expenses and whatnot. And now with our new plan, we are exactly like the investors. Like the projects are exactly like the investors. The projects will not receive any revenue until everybody else starts getting revenue. So with that, like 90 to 100,000 that we're going to raise from these 500 NFTs, 100% of that is going into the bot. None of it is going to the projects. We will get our, returns and revenue for the projects and for the team members at the same time as everybody else at the end of year 2. And so we're on the same footing as everybody else, and it's going to speed up the process a little bit. So
yeah. G says thanks for giving investors a larger share. He's nearing 1 dozen. He meant so.
Nice. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yanni Boy thanks him for support. And that's a huge thing, especially I've noticed this in the bear market. A lot of projects, they start off and they don't throw it all to liquidity or all to the investors, and you're seeing them taking their portion. And it's like, it just shows like this lack of faith in my opinion,
Yeah.
lack of faith in the project. We're like, why do you need so much to, like, if you believe in the longevity of it or you believe in your project, you don't need to do that. And I know a lot of investors now are being extra picky with what they invest in. So it's like, especially now in these times, like people aren't throwing money like during the bull runs. You could do whatever and people throw their crap in. It's just not.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing it's really, really crazy right now with everything. And
and that kind of is that same mentality that we had, with kind of making that overarching change, is that, we noticed as we were kind of like doing some of the math on this, we wanted to, like I said, kind of shorten down that time frame for people to really see those impactful payouts. And they'll start seeing it from month 2, or not month 2, year 2. And, maybe it should have been something where I should have like left in there as like a sub bar or something like that. Like, hey, this is what it originally was versus what it is now. But it almost doubled every single payout across the board. In certain instances, if we do have some really good like months and even years, we can get to that point where we move from, stage 2, which is the 50-40-5-5. So 50% payout, 40% reinvest, 5% to each team, to our stage 3, which is 90-5-5, which is 90% payout, and then it basically, the way it works is like, as soon as we get up to about the $15 to $25 million range in the bot, everything revenue wise that generates, it's going to get paid out to the holders. So that way it's a situation where we can really kind of, start seeing these like massive payouts. And the positive with it is, even if we run into a situation where we end up averaging like, say, 10%, per month or something like that, it ends up being a case where like, year over year, it's about $14,000 to $15,000 per NFT. So, we have G who's in the chat who's like, yeah, I'm nearing 12 right now. Imagine being paid out $15,000 10 times or something like that. That's $150,000. And again, that's based on like pretty, what I would say moderate returns, where we're able to kind of continue to kind of recoup that and kind of get to where we want with that. But at the same time, once we hit about that $15 to $25 million range, it kind of really even bumps it up further. So it becomes even, higher payouts, closer to about, I believe it should be about $20,000 to $25,000 per NFT at that point in time, doing just like 10% a month. So I've got to revise some of those numbers again, because I made some adjustments with the way that the math works and things like that, just to kind of like make sure that it's actually basing it on hitting that 15 to 25. And I think, if memory serves, the year 6 stage 3 that's based off of is actually about $6 or $8 million roughly. So it's not quite up to that 15 to 25. But the positive with that is, like, once we do hit that range, and we're thinking that 10% is going to be on the low end as well too. We're thinking it's going to be closer to an average of about 15% per month. But even with, like, say, a 10% one, that would be a case where, people would end up making roughly about $20,000 to about $25,000, per NFT per year.
And if like by year 6 we do only have like 5 to 8 million in the bot, I mean, we could always like take a vote and maybe do another year of reinvesting 40% to try and get it up to, like, 15 million or wherever we want it to be. I'm sure people probably, would be okay with that.
Exactly.
It would equal bigger payouts.
It's always fluid down the line. You can do a lot of things with the holders and have on-chain votes.
Yeah, and the positive with that as well too is, like, let's say in year 6 we do hit that $15 million mark, right? Like, let's say we're at 8 million and we need another 7 million to get there, and we get that by, say, year 6 at 5 months, whatever. We could at that point in time just say, okay, well, we hit the baseline. Everything after the 15 million is going to be a part of the payout going forward here, and that's going to be at that 90%. So that means that we'd say, hey, the baseline for this is like, the 15 million we've got. 90% of everything above that. So like, let's say for that year, we effectively double everything. So we do like 14 million on that year. We go from, 8 million to like a total of like, let's say 25 million or something like that. That would be an instance where, we would say, okay, well, we're going to pay out 10 million, but now we're at that baseline 15 million that we were looking for. And then we just go from there. And, we've hit that baseline. We're happy with it. And we can kind of just, keep crushing it going forward as well.
Spicoli asks an interesting question here. He said, what about waiting longer and letting that compound harder and roll at 100 million? And Yanni kind of answered that for him. If you have a bot that's trading with $100 million, it's moving the market. We don't want to do that. We just want to flow with it.
It will be awfully hard to, once it gets too big, it becomes harder to trade with it too.
Correct.
It's one of those things where you wouldn't move the market. How is the bot performing? I know it's what did we last talk like a month ago? Like, how's the bot been performing since then, especially in the market the way it is now? I know things have taken a hit in the last week or so.
Yeah, we had some graphics that we were in the process of getting out the door. We were working on some stuff with our developer, Callie, who unfortunately, got called away to do some stuff for work. So he's been gone and off and on a little bit, and then he's been doing some updates on the bot. But over the last 2 months, we did the 16.7% over the first month. The second month was, I believe, about 4.8% or something like that. So just shy of about 5%, for a total of about 21.10% or something like that. It was roughly around there. So on average, it's doing about 10.55% right now. And again, that was with the month of, the end of July/August, being relatively inactive in terms of like volatility, movements within the market. There wasn't really a lot going on.
And there was a few days where the bot was down, right?
No, it was never. Oh, you mean like down as in like inactive? Yes.
Yeah.
We had about 4 or 5 days where the bot was not trading as well too, as we were, testing out some updates and making some adjustments. And then it is currently down right now as well too, and inactive. I'm going to use the term inactive versus down, because we've not been down. We're 100%.
Yeah.
You say down, people are like, oh no.
Yeah. No.
Callie
is calibrating it to be better able to scale larger trades in the future.
Correct. Yeah. So it's inactive at the moment while we're doing that update. And that one we're hoping to have done by the end of August here. So we got about 8 more days left on that. And the positive with that is that means that we shouldn't actually really have to pull it down for extended periods of time going forward as well.
That makes sense. You got to optimize it. You got to get it down. Now.
The nice part about that, though, is that, the scalability update that we're doing right now will scale with us all the way up through that 15 to 25 million that we're looking for, without hopefully having to take it down for any major period of time. Like, obviously, if there's something that we have to like pull it down to like fix something unexpected, we'll have to do that. But, this is something where we're expecting to, in theory, not have to, do another scalability update like this again, which is great. It means that we can compound more. We're looking at generating, revenue without having to bring the bot down and do additional things. Because, if we want to look at how often we've kind of had to make some of those adjustments and changes, we've really only been running the bot for about a month and a half total. Between the changes that we had to do in month 1 and the updates we had to do in month 2, we were down for almost about a total of, about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So it's really been a case where even with all of that going on, we really didn't have a full 60 days of trading. It was closer to about 45 days worth of trading, 48 roughly.
Okay.
So it's a 20%. Much better position. Yeah.
The other thing that I'm sorry, I'm just like looking at Spicoli's question. He said he wanted 100,000 payouts. I did the math on 15 million in the bot making 15% monthly in profits, which we've been talking about it with Matt and with the teams. Yanni was saying that's only like 0.5% profit a day. Matt corrected him and said it's actually 0.46% profit a day would equal 15% monthly. And if we've got 15 million in the bot and we're making 15% monthly, that comes out to almost 120,000 payout per NFT at the end of that year. So,
yep. Yeah. And well, that's with the older numbers. With the newer numbers and the way that works, if we're in that $15 million range, it's actually closer to 200,000. So
yeah, see, that's the thing I did wrong. I was compounding monthly because I was handwriting all this, and Bobtail actually corrected me. He's like, it's compounding daily, Oliver, not monthly.
Now, questions. These year 5 payouts, is that like if you added up the profit from every single month, that's what you make for the year, or is that per month?
That is for the entire year.
Okay, so year 2, you'd make, if it's doing 10% a month, you make 618. Okay, I just wanted to verify that so that it's clear. So anybody looking at this isn't looking at it and be like 218,000 a month. Holy crap!
No, I wish we were doing that. I mean, that would be a situation where
then we can all get our safuu go Vulcan disappointment out of the way. We can get our money back. We can all go to the beach. As you're selling these,
we'll just
NFTs,
buy a state. That's what we'll do, or something like that. Buy our own island. Buy a house. It'll be the Prisma One Island. That's what we'll do.
Exactly. So as you're selling,
me governor.
Is the money going straight into the bot right away? So it's starting, or are you waiting till all the NFTs are sold out and then you're going to start, and that's when you can be?
So we do want to wait for the scalability update to be finished first.
Makes sense.
And that's where we're kind of looking to kind of start up the bot at that point in time. We're still going to continue to sell the NFTs. And, the nice part about it is those funds can literally just be rolled right into it as we, continue to do so. So, the earliest that we'd be looking to kind of do this is like early September. I think September 1st is where we're hoping everything will be finished with the, like I said, the scalability update, and then we can just jump right into it, kind of start earning a little bit. But
we still have 230 more to sell. So there's
right. I mean, we're closing in on, on about the halfway point with really only about a month of, them being like live and active, so to speak. We started.
Yeah, we've been selling about a dozen a day. So
I promised you when I was back in town, I know you asked me when I was on vacation, Oliver, that I would make a dedicated video, not AMA live stream, something where it's 6 minutes of going over the white paper with everybody. So I still got to do that. I'll have that out by week's end. Now that I'm in my studio, I can do it easier with it's just too tough. Being on vacation. So I'll have that out by week's end for you guys to help push these things out and get it to more eyes,
Thank you very much. That will definitely help.
It's tough. You got to find outside investors, outside people, and it's just tough because space is just going through it all right now.
Yeah. So
I will say the other little added bonus to this as well too, and almost kind of that idea and that time to buy, so to speak. When we originally launched this, the price of BNB was about $240. Right now, it's about $215. So I mean, if you want to look at it like, hey, what's a good time to get in? It's about a 10% discount right now. So, not a bad time to throw, throw a BNB at it and be like, hey, got a little bit of a discount. Cause again, we're not forcing somebody to buy it like 240, 250, 280, whatever it is. So like, if you get in now, and then like 2 weeks from now, BNB skyrockets up 30% or something like that. I mean, one, it benefits, the amount that we're going to have in there, starting straight out the gate, but two, you're getting in there at a little bit of a discount compared to, the others. Cause for us, it's always just going to be one BNB to get into it. So, time it right, get lucky and get in.
You made a really good point, Matt. When we were talking to 100X Club, you were saying that like if you went to see a financial advisor and you told them that you wanted to make an investment that was going to replace your income in 5 to 6 years, but you only wanted to invest a couple $100 today, they'd just laugh you out of their office. So he's like, you were making the point, like this type of investing just doesn't happen anywhere other than in crypto, and it doesn't seem to be happening with anywhere else other than with our NFT.
It is true. It had been the world of DeFi like during the bull run, so it was like you were seeing it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of people get extra greedy, and this is good because there's no greed factor. Like these payouts are coming to your wallet. You don't have to like make decisions. Should I sell? Should I sell? Should I sell? No, that's one of the hardest parts is how do I get out? And that's always been the hard part.
And that's kind of the nice part about the setup that we have here, but that's also the positive with the way that we're kind of doing this as well too, is that it really just it takes that ease of use for the end user and really kind of just presents like, hey, you can have one BNB and you can throw it in a liquidity pool that's going to make you like 2% on the year or something like that, or you could take one BNB, give it a shot on this, and life-changing money year over year going forward as well too, and that's really, I think, where, the difference kind of comes into play is that, because we're looking to compound this and like really, there were a lot of long conversations at the beginning about, hey, how are we going to ask people, to sit on this for a year, sit on this for 2 years and be like, hey, just, bear with us, grin and bear it. It's going to be, very, very long-term hold and position to kind of be a part of that isn't really asked in the crypto space ever. And that's one of those things that for us, we talked about that for hours on end, days on end, and just kind of went over it. And we said, hey, the best course of action for this is, to be honest and upfront, let people know that, hey, this is our goal and this is what we're looking to do. And this is the reason why it's going to take this amount of time is because, compounding isn't something you can snap your fingers and you can have a $200,000 APY, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And, everything is going to turn out fine, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. So we wanted to back it up with the things that we're actually able to do, the revenue we're actually able to generate. And then, at that same time, we wanted to, to make sure that, there was that transparency that people knew that like, hey, we understand this is going to be long haul, and 3 years in crypto is going to feel like 30 years. I know it is. But it's a situation when we start getting to the 3 years, to the 4 years, to the 5 years, to the 6 years, and we get into that bull market because it's producing right now in a bear market, 10.5% per month in a bear market, which is insane.
And that's in 6 weeks. That's not even in a full 2 months. So
correct.
If a full 2 months might have been 25, 30%, who knows?
Yeah, it's been about 6.5, almost 7 weeks is what it's been active. But yeah, it very much so is a case where, we're in a bear market. It's producing these numbers 10.5% at about 6.5 weeks, of being active, about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks of, us having to kind of do some maintenance, make some adjustments here and there, to kind of, do exactly what we want. And then, a lot of this, preaching to people that, hey, this isn't going to be quick. It's not going to be something that we're going to snap our fingers and we're doing like 100% risk on this or anything. We've been very, very risk averse with this as well too, which is kind of one of the most important parts. And then, like I said, we've been honest and transparent with people that like, hey, this isn't going to be a next week. This isn't going to be a next month. It's not even going to be a next year kind of a thing. It's going to be, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, 20, 25, 50 years, assuming I'm still alive and running this thing in 50 years,
that's how long it will run for, but the payouts are going to start at the end of year 2. Just want to make that clear.
Yes.
Wait 50 years for a payout.
Absolutely not. But, we're hoping that we're going to be able to keep doing these payouts through year 50,
Amen. Brother.
Yeah, you got to do the educating from the start, and that's like tough because everybody wants right now. And it's good. This is something that, if you got extra funds, you buy an NFT and you just let it go to work. As long as you guys continue to show the trades, keep people excited, keep building buzz.
Yep.
It will be good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crypto Manila says, please don't let Brian Legend see this video. It might buy all the NFTs. Well,
he has no foresight, so he would not think
that man
he would
can't
not
wait
think that far ahead.
That man can't
Plus,
wait
he
3,
can't
5,
control
10
it,
years.
so it wouldn't hurt. Actually, it wouldn't even hurt if all the NFTs were sold. It doesn't matter who buys them. But he can't control anything, which is the greatest thing ever.
This is true.
Yep.
I was telling
we don't want his dirty money.
Yeah, someone was saying posted something about what Nick had said, saying like, how come BL gets to keep his wallet in Vulcan and whatnot? I'm like, my thought was, if any of our tokens or if any of our Vulcan have value, I really don't care if he has some, as long as they have some value, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing as well, though, too, is that like he can't actually touch any of these funds. So like anybody that gets an NFT, even if Brian Legend swoops in and buys 200 of them or something like that, everybody else who's already bought one at that point in time, you're not having to worry about like him running away with the money as well, too. So it's very much so a case where it's like, we can't prevent him from buying stuff if he wants to partake in, the Prisma One NFTs, as much as I'd love to be able to do so. But it's very much so a case where it's like, he can't hurt the ecosystem either. So
choice, I hope this is the case. In 3 to 5 years, he's still going to be locked up.
Amen.
Hope that's the case.
Yeah.
So from second year on, you can collect every year after that. That is great. That is the whole point.
Yep.
Passive income. By the time you start getting payouts, the goal is most of you would have forgot, and now you're going to see money rolling into your wallet, right? It's airdropped automatically. We use steps.
USDC airdropped. Yep.
You're going to be like,
or whatever applicable stablecoin if USDC has decided it wants to vanish off the face of the earth due to the SEC. You never know, but we'll have a stable
feeling that day.
Yeah,
guys, crazy.
And what's the exchange that you guys are trading on right now? Is it
Bybit?
Bybit.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I did want to bring up something regarding security. I'm just kind of like I'm blanking on it for a moment here, really quick. So we have kind of talked about allowing people to kind of be able to see, what we're doing and what we're trading. We're still working on that. When that does come through, and it will be visible, it'll be about roughly a 2 to 3 day delay. Just to kind of let people know so they can kind of see, the ins and outs of the trade, not, all like the nitty gritty, but just kind of, like, hey, we took profit here on this trade. On top of that as well, too, we are considering a couple of different options regarding, people auditing the trades and, the funds and things like that. So we can, have kind of like either a monthly or like a quarterly report that's provided by a third party. So that way we don't have to, worry about like, hey, just trust me, bro, kind of thing. So we're considering a couple of options there and what we might be able to kind of do to, provide that additional security so people can feel really confident and comfortable that, like, again, it's not just a, hey, trust me, bro, and then a year into this, somebody's like, oh no, the money has vanished. Oh no. That's never something we want over here, so we want you guys to be able to see it, be able to, visually track it in multiple ways. And then on top of that, make sure that it's also, being done by a third party. So that way it's not just, again, like I said, trust me, bro, the team is saying this. It's, verified through somebody else. So, yep.
And I mean, we'll be showing all the trades. You'll be able to check, the blockchain to see exactly where the funds are. If you want to go ahead and ask Crypto Manila's or read his comment.
So it's yearly. I thought after 2 years, payouts be monthly. So are you paying monthly, or you like you're paying monthly, right?
So I'll answer that really quick. If we do monthly, the issue with doing monthly is that it doesn't allow for a larger accrual of rewards. So you have to think about it in terms of like kind of like that up and down pendulum. So like as you're kind of like accruing the revenue, and then once you do the payout, it drops it back down. And then you have to start accruing again, and you have to hit a certain point, and then it drops it back down. The other negative with doing that as well, too, is that we could run into a situation where, like, hey, let's say, we have a like a bad month, so to speak, where, like this recent month, we did 4.8%. The month prior to that, we did, 16.7%. That kind of averages itself out over the year versus like, hey, 1 month you're going to get, $20,000. The next month you're going to get $4,000 or something like that.
Compounding effect's greater over the year than if you were paying out. You lose some of that compounding effect.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
that makes 100%. 100%.
To put it into perspective, and this was my math, it was a little off. I was actually a little low. When you start with 15 million in the bot, by the end of December, there's almost 90 million in the bot. Actually, there's more than that. There's probably 100 million in the bot. Because I started with 15 million, and with my incorrect math, which was low, I got to 88 million by the end of December, and that's how I got to the 117,000 payouts. But you said it'd be more like 200,000 payouts.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah, and that's the difference in it. There is that if you do the compound monthly, and if you take out monthly as well too, it becomes that case where it ends up reducing the amount that you get every single year, and not by a small amount either. It's like a 20% reduction minimum, depending on how well everything is going. Like it can be upwards of 20 to 50% in some cases.
When you play around with compounding interest calculators and you just when it starts going, it's like this. The curve, it really starts out low, and then once it starts kicking up, it really kicks up. That's kind of what happens with rebasing tokens. For anybody who wants to know, it's like the start, it's like this, and then all of a sudden it just starts building, and then it gets to a point where it topples over. So so you don't want to take out at the start, because then it just stays flatline longer and it doesn't hit that exponential rate as quick.
Exactly.
That is great. Yeah, the hockey stick. That's it. Bobtail put it. The hockey stick.
Can I share some lucky isms with you guys? Some lucky charms, wisdom.
We really want some lucky isms from the Detroit Lions fan.
So he says, think about these NFTs as affordable, easy. As an affordable, easy investment with a little patience, every investor wins year after year. We are replacing the stock market with these NFTs, literally people's 401k that averages 9 to 12% per year for a 30-year retirement plan. We are cutting it down to 3 to 5 years. This is literally universal passive income we are creating with AI.
Yep. Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, that's about as accurate as we can kind of, present it here. I remember what I was going to say about security and safety and things like that. So I really wanted to kind of touch base again on that as well too. One of the things that, we were kind of asked about is, how are we kind of trying to mitigate risk? And I'm not just talking about security in terms of the audits or multi-sig, things like that. But what are we trying to do to prevent a situation where it's hey, we're taking unneeded or unnecessary risk with the trades that we're placing. So to give an example, we've only ever, as of right now, had one instance where where we've had a liquidation price. And so for those that don't understand kind of what that is, when you're placing trades, especially longs and shorts, you run into a situation where you have a liquidation value that if you hit that, you lose everything, or you lose whatever's in that given trade. So the liquidation value that we had at one point in time was when Ethereum moved from 1,500 to 1,800 in that very short period of time, right after the whole situation with BNB, and a lot of people moved out of Binance to Ethereum. Same time frame roughly as around Hex and stuff like that as well too. So it was all kind of right there where it bumped from about 1,500 to about 18, almost 1,900. We had a liquidation price at that point, which was $109,000, meaning Ethereum had to jump from about $1,900 to about $109,000 in order for our position to have been liquidated. So for anyone that's kind of curious and doesn't understand the percentage that is, that's about 7,200%.
Which doesn't happen
yeah, for the sake of Bitcoin, for those that like don't really trade much in Ethereum or know much about Ethereum, but know a little more about Bitcoin and that price, Bitcoin would have had to go from about 26,000 to $1.9 million. So it's like that's the only instance that we've ever had where we, ran into hey, we could be liquidated. Every other instance, we've never had a liquidation, value at any point in time. So that's our mentality behind it, is we wanted to keep it as safe as we possibly could and make sure that we're not putting things at risk by saying, doing like 10,000x leverage or something crazy like that, or, like throwing everything, at the pot and seeing what sticks in one shot. That's not our goal. We're not trying to just ape in and make a ridiculous amount of money in one go.
What he is saying is no Brian Legend investments.
So exactly. And that's kind of the point behind like the long-term compounding as well too, is that, we're looking to, be steady and consistent, very, very, minimalized risk as much as we possibly can. And then continue to kind of have that grow, day over day, week over week, month over month, and even year over year. So I thought you might find that kind of fun.
To understand is the more profit that's able to be gone, the more risk too. There's always, those go hand in hand. So you want to take the profit and minimize the risk, and you do that, you're golden.
Yep. Throw in some compounding, and that's why it's the eighth wonder of the world.
I think we covered everything new on this. I'm going to make sure that I get a short form video for you guys out by week's end. Hopefully nothing crazy happens with Vulcan, because every night I'm on live streams doing crazy. I got another one here in 50 minutes, so I got to eat before that starts.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
You are relentless, man.
Yeah, I'm trying. Every day I say I'm going to take the night off, and then
well, the world never sleeps, and so does Greek. So there you go.
What are you guys talking about? Are you talking to Nick again?
I cannot confirm or deny if Nick is coming on the show. Hint, hint, anybody in the audience.
All right.
I really don't know. But he might be there. He is under the weather still. So he's got the flu. So I don't want him on if he's not feeling well. Obviously, his health is more important, because we need him. Because if we have to rely on Brian Legend to deliver us a blockchain, we're going to end up on the streets.
Yeah. Looks like we have a couple little final questions here. Teddy One just bought an NFT, so congrats, man. Welcome to the crew.
Crypto Manila wants to know why Prado's World is not partnering with Prisma NFT. They would have to buy NFTs and wait 2 years for a return on them. I don't know how that benefits them right now, but
yeah, I mean, any project or any person that wants to purchase the NFTs, like again, we don't have anything blacklisted. Like I said, it's a case where like even he who must not be named could, in theory, buy NFTs through us as well too. But yeah, I mean, if they want to, and they've got the funds available to do so, and they want to, purchase some Prisma One NFTs, they're going to be in the same boat that everybody is in. Again, we're not going to give any special treatment to any projects or, people in particular, and it's all the same for everybody, including the team members as well, too, and the projects as well, where even if you buy it today, you got to hold tight, hold fast for those first 2 years. Then you start getting those payouts every year, and, good from there. But yeah, I mean, I've, not got anybody or any project that we're like, hey, no, you can't purchase. We're here for the crypto space.
That is good. Yep. Do not ever turn anybody away. And thanks, guys, for returning my Esco and Vulcan investments soon.
We're doing our best.
Hopefully, with stuff that I'm doing with Nick Caliani, we can start hashing this Vulcan thing out. We can, we gotta just keep it up. And Barry McCockiner says Snowy hates things he can't manipulate. That is 100% true. Snowy will not be able to touch this, even if he got in. So,
yeah, this is true.
And on that note,
don't you mean Goblin?
Yeah, he's Goblin. He's Snowy.
Schmidt
Who knows
Group.
what he's going to be tomorrow?
I mean, the guy's got more personalities than anyone I've ever met before.
He's a joke.
Yeah.
He's a joke. Tells me to F off while I'm in church, so there's that. It's all fun.
I mean, you were there doing God's work, and he obviously was doing God's work with the Yomp token as well too. So let's be fair there.
I asked him one fair question: why do you continue to do your same stuff with Yomp, and you never even change it up a little? And he goes, "F off, Greek," and then I'm like, "Thank you, sir."
I mean, it's, not to just go on a bash fest, but it's very telling the way that the crypto space kind of looks at stuff. And that's, again, to plug our stuff more so than anything else. I mean, that's kind of some of the things that we've been trying to redefine here with, not just the NFTs, but the projects and things like that, between 1 token, 2 token, 3 token, and then, between, Prisma working on rebuilding and getting its V2 out so we can kind of, get back in the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
This is all stuff where our goal is not, just a short-term fix. Our goal is, long-term sustainability and long-term growth. And that's kind of, to let everyone know where it all kind of started, between how these kind of NFTs came to be, is that, our 2 projects kind of came together, Prisma being, the newer of the 2 projects, kind of looked at 1 token as kind of like this mentor of like, hey, how can we actually kind of try and make something long-standing here? And, that's where we kind of came together and said we wanted to do a passive income play together. You guys are the passive income guys, and 1 token are the, the NFT guys. What can we do to make this work? And that's where these kind of, came to be. And we're really excited about them. We know that long term it's going to be, a huge positive and a big win for anyone that jumps into it. So, hello, puppy. But yeah, look at that.
Another super chat.
It's not even fair. Just a distraction there. I just immediately forgot what I was saying and what I was doing.
Look what you did. Snowy will be a goblin prison sausage.
There you go. Well. Yeah. But yeah, so, anyone that's got any questions, just as a reminder, you can always jump into the, the One Team Discord or, the Prisma Discord and ask questions. We're both kind of in those, answering questions on both sides as well, too. So, yeah, anyone that's ever curious about anything about the NFTs, how they work, what's going to be the process, any of that stuff, any questions, we're here for you.
And if you want to buy an NFT, not financial advice, but if you want to buy one, the link is in the description of this video. You can just click on it. It will take you right there, and you can connect your wallet and mint right away.
And check out the white paper. It is super concise, to the point, and it has some really, really fun numbers to look at.
A lot of reading. If you want to wait, you can wait for my video on the white paper.
You're the man, Greek.
We trust you, Greek. Absolutely, man. 1,000%.
But I'd like to thank you guys for coming. Unfortunately, we got to end this one so I can eat some dinner before the next live. We'll definitely talk again, and hopefully everybody has a great night.
All right,
absolutely.
Thanks,
you as well. See you.
Never fear.